Hey everybody, Brian here. In this video I want to show you this car here. This is a 212, that's a Hyundai Kona, and that's basically a hybrid, and I've got really squeaky shoes on this surface, but anyway. So in the video I want to run around some of the features on the outside and the inside, and we'll go for a quick drive as well. The colour of this car is a cyber grey, so when you talk about a grey car, normally people think of those kind of greys. That's actually a silver. So this is a very, very light, it's not a matte, but it's a very, very light coloured grey. And then what's different on this one, well not different, but it's a little bit more seldom. This one's got a two-tone finish. So in other words, we'll say the roof spoiler is black. To be fair, on Konas, this pillar along here is usually black plastic, but starting there you got black all the way down the A pillar down here, and then over the mirror caps as well. So it kind of, I suppose, to be fair, it does make the car look a little bit more aggressive. And the other thing as well is on these, because you got a big black grille here, you got the grey kind of rugged wheel arches and down the side. I think having the black roof kind of complements what you see lower down on the car. So I think that looks pretty cool. And then because it's a hybrid, it gets 18-inch wheels. So they're a nice kind of diamond cut finish, shiny and reflective. But compared to the Comfort model, which came with a 16-inch wheel, and then the popular executive petrol you see on the road, which comes with a 17-inch wheel, these 18s, they just fill out the wheel arches. In my opinion, it makes the car look really, really sporty and gives it a small bit of extra elevation in terms of height as well. Other things I like on the outside of the car then, round to the rear, I like this kind of light cluster. It looks like kind of individual lights, but it's just a kind of design that runs through the bulbs on the actual cover over the light. So I think that looks pretty cool. These will have parking sensors on the rear, and they'll also have a camera. We'll look at that in a minute. And then it also gets tinted windows along the rear as well, which again works well with the black roof. And up here then, the roof rails are also like a dark matte black, which, okay, again, I know it's a metallic black along here, but kind of just comes together nicely. This car is a nice example. It's got a full, so like condition wise, it's quite nice throughout, to be fair. Customer actually bought the exact same car again, but it's got a nice service history. 6,000 kilometers, 16,000 kilometers, 25,000 kilometers, servicing all done. So it's a nice history on what I would deem to be a nice condition Kona. So that's the kind of stuff I like on the outside of the car. Moving then, actually one thing while I think of it, that car, we will supply that car with 12 months warranty, but it's a 21, which means it has an 8-year warranty on the battery, and that's going to bring it in to having battery cover until 2029. These hybrid models then, headlights in through here. These are daytime running lights, which also turn into parking lights at nighttime, and then it has front fog lights over through here as well. And if you're not familiar then, in 2021, this is the facelift model. So it's got a bigger, sort of more aggressive mouth and grille along the front. You get this little brushed aluminium section that kind of mimics the grille that sits on top of it. And we've seen nice little brushed aluminium surrounds around the lights, down the bottom of the doors, and down around to the bottom of the bumper again. Anywho, let's have a look at the boot. So, boot's in nice condition throughout. And then what you can do on these, okay, one of the byproducts is the hybrid, you don't get a spare wheel, you get a puncture repair, but it allows you then, well actually all the Konas were able to do this once you took out the foam setting for the spare wheel if you had one, but in this case it doesn't have one, so you don't have to take it out. But you can drop the depth of the boot to make it bigger, but a lot of people tend to like to leave it high because, come on, not as easy to do with one hand. Then you've got a nice flat section. Right, after that then, in terms of the inside, door card's in nice condition, electric window, speaker, child lock back through there as you'd expect, 3 head restraints, Isofix over here. It's a little bit dark this evening, so I'll open the other side. Isofix over there. Condition really, really nice on the seats, and that is a bit of tissue or something. Fine. Storage, and then just to sit behind myself. So if you're 6 foot, sitting behind myself, I'm going to have a decent amount of leg room. And the nice thing about these, they have this kind of indentation of the seats to give you more knee room, if that makes sense. Up front then, height adjustable driver seat, lumbar support. This little button here to harden up the back part of the seat, which is better for your back. Steering wheel is rake reach, so in, out, up, down. Electrics for windows and mirrors. Actually with the lights and the control from the key, so you can see the lights are on, door mirrors in. Lock the car, lights turn off, door mirror comes in, unlock the car, lights come back on, door mirror comes back out. Okay, if you've not driven one of these before and you're getting used to it, brake and go. That's it, brake and accelerate. Starting the car, put my foot on the brake. You won't hear an engine sound a lot of the time. but that's the only way that you know that it's ready to go. So it gives you a ready to drive. I'm on battery because at the moment it's sufficiently charged. If I go for reverse, I get parking sensors and I also get a rear camera. And then there's also a little radar in there as well. Cruise control, average speed, fuel efficiency, all that kind of information displayed in through there. Bluetooth controls over through there. Android Auto, Apple CarPlay in through there. One thing you'll see when we're driving, because this is the later model, I also have regenerative braking. So I might show you when we're driving. You'll see that pop up. And I'll explain that as we're driving. It's to do with regenerative braking. Anyway, so when you're driving one of these cars, if you haven't driven anything SUV before, the nice thing about these was they're a neat size, but they weren't bulky. So easy in terms of parking, but you had a nice high driving position. Right, do you remember I was talking about this little thing that would pop up? Regen braking. I'm not going to use the brake pedal here, okay? I'm using this paddle on the left, and you can see it's starting to increase the little box that I was pointing out. This regen braking, basically what it's going to do is it's going to it's going to harvest the energy from the wheels that we're turning. So basically, rather than me using the brake pedal, the motor is now turning the opposite way. It's slowing the car down, which is great. So the car's coming to complete halt without my brakes. So I'm not using the pads, but it's also using that energy to put it back up into the battery and recharge the battery. So it's pretty cool. Now, here's the thing. This car has a sport mode as well. So you can see the clocks will change when I go across to sport. But now those paddles turn into gear shifters. And actually these cars are 140 horsepower. There's really good acceleration in them. You get a little kick from the battery that gives a good torque, and it's a pokey enough engine as well. So 140 horsepower, but I can shift up the gears or down the gears in sport mode. And like what we saw when I was in eco mode, it was regenerative braking. One thing I forgot to say while we were driving, I have driven these cars. I have a big commute every day, and I've driven these cars. These cars knock out the same fuel. I can actually give you a video on it if you want. That I've compared the diesel and the petrol. These things knock out a handy 4.5 to 5 litres. On the average on this car for its whole life so far, it's 5 litres. Now I know it showed 8.5 in that was the journey I was just after doing, which was inefficient, but they are seriously easy on fuel. So if you're looking for a car and you can't find a diesel car that's going to suit your needs, these are excellent on fuel. And I'm not saying hybrids are excellent on fuel, it's just these are quite good because they're an economical size engine for the weight of the body. Don't take my word for it. I can send you a video. I've done the research. I'm really fanatical about the fuel efficiency on these. So anyway, it drives good. So if you want information in the car, if there's anything I've missed, by the way, let me know in the comment section below. If you're watching on YouTube, and I'll do my best to answer the question. Or if you're in Ireland and you're thinking about buying the car, or you want information about trading in or finance or whatever you want to know, give us a shout. 086 843 1945. Car will be supplied with car warranty until 2026 and battery warranty until 2029. That's a nice tidy one, in my opinion. Nice mileage. Cyber grey with black roof I think looks really well. And the hybrids always look really nice with the big wheels anyway. And they are super economical, and I can say that from first-hand experience. Anyway, hopefully you like the car. Hopefully the video is useful. Thanks for watching.